Welcome to IE News and to our viewers on itvtt.com. I am Michael DeMay. Thanks for joining us. In the headlines, the government clarifies Tier 4 data center project amid AI facility claims. The TTPS honors officers who defended democracy during the 1990 attempted coup. A man to be charged with murder of 82-year-old Valencia resident. In our top story, the Ministry of Public Administration and Artificial Intelligence is seeking to clarify reports surrounding a Tier 4 data center project, insisting that the facility is not an artificial intelligence data center, as some reports have suggested. In a statement responding to a July 19th media article, the ministry confirmed that the project was initiated under the previous People's National Movement administration and was intended to provide secure government data storage and digital services. The ministry explained that the facility's Tier 4 classification relates strictly to its reliability, resilience, and operational standards and should not be interpreted as a measure of artificial intelligence capability. Officials noted that the AI-related facilities currently being explored through memoranda of understanding with Ernst & Young LLP and Hummingbird AI Holdings are entirely separate projects. According to the ministry, those proposed facilities are designed as commercial high-performance computing centers capable of supporting enterprise-level artificial intelligence and other advanced computing applications. The ministry stressed that two projects differ significantly in their technical architecture, investment structure, and overall purpose. It also stated that despite procurement activity associated with the Tier 4 facility, the project has not yet been fully operationalized. The MPAA said it remains committed to transparency, the modernization of Trinidad and Tobago's digital infrastructure, and the responsible development of artificial intelligence initiatives that serve the national interests. The ministry further rejected suggestions that the government was secretly advancing infrastructure for an AI data center, describing those claims as inaccurate and based on a misunderstanding of the project's purpose. While the location of the facility has not yet been publicly disclosed, the ministry maintained that reports linking the Tier 4 data center to artificial intelligence development were incorrect and misleading. More than 3 decades after the 1990 attempted coup, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is preserving the legacy of the officers whose courage and sacrifice helped defend the nation's democracy. Through a special exhibition and guided tours at the Police Museum in the old police headquarters, members of the public are being given an opportunity to revisit one of the most significant moments in the country's history. Deputy Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin said the initiative is intended to ensure that the sacrifices made by police officers during the attempted coup are never forgotten. He explained that the exhibition focuses on the events of July 27, 1990, including the attack on the police headquarters on St. Vincent Street, and pays tribute to the officers who risked and in some cases gave their lives in defense of the country. Benjamin said the exhibition serves as a reminder that Trinidad and Tobago's democracy came at a great cost and was built on the dedication and bravery of those who stood against the attempted overthrow of the government. He added that many officers still bear the emotional and physical scars of that day, making it important to preserve their stories for future generations and inspire younger officers to uphold the values of service and sacrifice. The Deputy Commissioner also reflected on the unity displayed during the crisis, noting that Special Reserve Police and regular officers stood side by side in defense of the nation, strengthening the police service through shared sacrifice.
We want to remind Trinidad and Tobago, especially from the museum standpoint, that there were persons who really gave their life. There were persons who really toiled to ensure the democracy that we have today, that it certainly was not free and it was not cheap. Persons worked hard and police officers gave their lives. And we just want to remind the public in terms of those persons who have really, put their life on the line to ensure Trinidad and Tobago has the democracy that we have today. Special reserve officer or a regular officer, everybody was just one police service. And we learned a lot from those experiences. We've grown And today, you know, we're here to still tell the story that the police service remains a very strong organization that will defend its nation. And, you know, together we are stronger because of all that happened in the past.
A 23-year-old man is expected to appear before the courts after the Director of Public Prosecutions, Roger Gaspard, advised homicide detectives to charge him with the murder of 82-year-old James Lecadre of Valencia. Lecadre's burnt remains were discovered along Plantation Road, Valencia, on March 27th, prompting a homicide investigation by officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Following months of investigations, police have now received legal advice from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to proceed with a charge of murder against the suspect. The accuser is expected to be formally charged, taken before the court as the investigation into the elderly man's killings continues. We pause for a moment. More news when we come back.
From the freshness of the ocean, Rainbow has sealed in all the natural, healthy goodness in their canned tuna, sardines, and mackerel. So go ahead, enjoy some crispy sardines, stewed mackerel, or a creamy tuna salad. Because while your tummy enjoys the great taste, your heart and immunity will love the healthy omega-3s, calcium, protein, and more. Rainbow's canned tuna, sardines, and mackerel are 100% real fish. So it's tasty, healthy eating for your body, heart, and mind. Rainbow canned fish.
Expressions Limited, as one of the largest importers of tiles, offers an extensive range of high-quality tiles in ceramic, porcelain, granite, stone, and mosaic options. Additionally, we offer a variety of tile accessories and bathroom sets to complement any decor style. We are committed to providing exceptional customer service and swift delivery of all products. From indoor and outdoor tiles to bathroom sets and tile accessories, we have curated a range that caters to both traditional and modern taste. Lampus 13, Ajudha Road, Munro Road, Canopio. Call 223-8453.
Welcome back. 7 months after Trinidad and Tobago's home invasion legislation came into force, government and the opposition remain sharply divided over whether the law is making the country safer. Here's more. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander says the legislation is already proving effective in deterring violent home invasions, pointing to multiple arrests, the detention of known offenders under preventive detention orders, and an increase in applications for firearm user licenses since the law took effect late last year. Responding to questions on the legislation's impact, Minister Alexander described it as an important measure in protecting law-abiding citizens. He said the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has established a dedicated team to investigate home invasion offences, resulting in several arrests and charges across the country. He also noted that a number of known offenders have been detained, preventing them from carrying out further home invasions. The Home Invasion, Self-Defense and Defence of Property Act came into effect in December 2025 after being passed by Parliament. The legislation created the standalone offence of home invasion, carrying penalties of up to 25 years imprisonment or a $750,000 fine. It also removed the legal duty for victims to retreat when confronted in their homes, affirming the right of citizens to use reasonable force, including deadly force where necessary, to defend themselves, their families, and their property. Minister Alexander said the law also strengthened the ability of law enforcement and sent a strong message to violent offenders, adding that authorities have observed an increase in applications for firearm user licenses since the legislation was introduced. However, the opposition has challenged those claims. Former National Security Minister and Opposition Chief Whip Martin Gonzalez argued that the legislation has failed to deliver on the promises made by the government, insisting that home invasions remain a persistent threat and that citizens continue to live in fear. Gonzalez said there have been few successful prosecutions under the legislation and maintained that reducing violent crime requires stronger intelligence-led policing, more effective law enforcement, and reforms to improve the efficiency of the criminal justice system. The debate comes as violent home invasions continue to generate national concern, with government maintaining that the legislation has strengthened protections for victims, while the opposition argues that legislation alone cannot solve the country's crime challenges. The Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs has officially welcomed the High Commissioner Designate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to Trinidad and Tobago. On Tuesday, July 21st, High Commissioner Designate Honorable Jeromon Samuel Manwe presented copies of his credentials during a ceremony at the ministry's headquarters in St. Clair. He was received by Chief of Protocol Andrea Narain Singh, along with members of the Nigerian diplomatic delegation, including Deputy Head of Mission Martin Nwari Ize and Minister Councillor Anye Dankaru. During the visit, the High Commissioner Designate met with Acting Permanent Secretary and Head of the Foreign Service, Randall Karim, where he formally presented true copies of his letters of credence as well as the letter of recall for his predecessor. The presentation of credentials marks an important step in the diplomatic accreditation process and reaffirms the long-standing diplomatic relations between Trinidad and Tobago and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A 27-year-old Sealots man is recovering in hospital after he was shot during an alleged confrontation with police officers conducting patrols in the community on Monday morning. According to police reports, officers attached to the CID CRO office received information at around 11:54 a.m. that several men were seen carrying firearms along Pioneer Drive, Sealots. The officers responded in an unmarked vehicle and conducted patrols in the area known as Magnum near the Bain Docks. While there, they reportedly observed a shirtless man wearing short pants and using what appeared to be a walkie-talkie. After continuing their patrol and finding nothing suspicious, the officers returned to the area. Police said they then observed the same man allegedly brandishing a firearm. One of the officers identified himself as a police officer by displaying his badge, after which gunshots were reportedly heard. An officer responded by discharging his service weapon, striking the suspect on the right side of his neck. Additional officers from the Interagency Task Force, the Guard and Emergency Branch, and the Bessel Street Police Station responded to the scene. The injured man was taken to hospital, where he remains warded for treatment. Police said they recovered a Glock 19 pistol fitted with an extended magazine containing 17 rounds of 9mm ammunition, which investigators believe was in the man's possession. Crime scene investigators processed the area and recovered 4 spent 9mm shell casings. Police also confirmed that the wounded man is employed as a security officer. Investigations into the incident are continuing. Trinidad and Tobago has deployed Coast Guard personnel, specialized search and rescue equipment, and a Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force C-26 aircraft to assist Guyana following the deadly sinking of a passenger ferry. Prime Minister Kamala Persad confirmed the deployment, saying the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force has been mobilized to support ongoing search and rescue operations. The Prime Minister said Coast Guard personnel and equipment are being sent to aid the mission, while a TTDF C-26 search and rescue aircraft has also been deployed to provide aerial support as authorities continue searching for survivors and those still missing. The assistance follows the sinking of the MV Barima late Saturday night in Guyana's northwestern waters, a tragedy that has claimed at least 2 lives and prompted a large-scale regional response. Guyana's Prime Minister and Acting President, Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, has earlier confirmed that Trinidad and Tobago was among several Caribbean nations offering assistance as rescue efforts intensified. The deployment now places Trinidad and Tobago's air and maritime assets alongside the Guyanese authorities in the ongoing operation as search teams continue combing the waters for survivors while investigators work to determine the cause of the disaster. Authorities have also disclosed that some rescued passengers were not listed on the vessel's manifest and that 2 rescued crew members tested positive for cannabis during medical examinations as investigations into the sinking continue. You're watching IE News. We'll return after these messages.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors, and roti makers. Try our high-quality bromate-free, all-purpose, and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg, and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canoopia. Shiklisho Limited. Quality you can trust.
Are you renewing your motor, homeowner, or business insurances shortly? Then call Kalyani Limited, agency for Tatil, for a competitive quote. With 2 locations, Todd Street, El Socorro, and 5 Rivers, Aruca. Please call us at 221-5051 or 227-5051. Kalyani Limited, agency for Tatil, building relationships exceeding expectations.
Welcome back. Spain are champions of the world once again after producing a memorable performance to capture the FIFA World Cup title, defeating their opponents in a thrilling final that capped an outstanding tournament campaign. The Spaniards showed composure and determination on football's biggest stage, overcoming a fiercely contested match to lift the coveted trophy and spark celebrations across the country. Throughout the tournament, Spain displayed the possession-based style and attacking quality that has become synonymous with their football, combining disciplined defending with clinical finishing to overcome some of the world's top teams on the road to the championship. The victory marks another historic milestone for Spanish football, adding a second FIFA World Cup title to the nation's achievements and reaffirming its place among the global games elite. Players and coaching staff celebrated emotionally at the final whistle as thousands of Spanish supporters inside the stadium erupted in celebration, while millions more enjoyed the festivities at home. The triumph also capped months of preparation and years of rebuilding, with Spain's blend of experienced leaders and emerging young talent proving decisive throughout the competition. As the champions lifted the famous FIFA World Cup trophy amid fireworks and celebrations, the victory marked the end of another unforgettable tournament and secured Spain's place at the summit of world football. Let's now take a look at some international news.
Tonight, new American casualties in the war in Iran. CENTCOM saying 2 American service members have been killed and another is missing after Iran launched a drone and missile attack in Jordan. Video circulating online appears to show multiple projectiles raining down from the night sky, several appearing to hit the Mufawak Salti Air Base in Jordan, which houses U.S. personnel. 4 injured service members were evacuated to Jordanian hospitals and later released. Several others suffered minor injuries and have returned to duty. Tonight, there is no word on the condition of the missing service member. President Trump reportedly telling News Nation the deaths were very sad, but Iran could not be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. 16 Americans have been killed so far in this war and more than 400 wounded, according to the Department of Defense. These latest combat deaths are the first reported since the fighting restarted. And strikes on bases and facilities in the Gulf region raising questions about the status of American missile defense.
So we know that we're drawing down rapidly our global stockpiles of these missiles, and we're not able to produce them fast enough to quickly replenish those stocks.
CENTCOM launching another round of strikes tonight on Iranian targets, including surveillance sites and military logistics infrastructure. And tonight saying they redirected 5 ships and disabled another one trying to run through an American blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. Iran, meanwhile, has been targeting its Gulf neighbors, launching missiles and drones at American bases in Jordan, Bahrain, and Kuwait. The U.S. ally saying it has been repeatedly hit, accusing Iran of targeting civilian infrastructure. On Saturday, smoke seen billowing from an oil facility. And Iran is elevating its threats. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Mojtaba Hosseini Khamenei, who hasn't been seen publicly since he was severely wounded in the first days of the war, vowing, quote, unforgettable lessons for the American enemy. The escalation in this war coming as both sides now say the ceasefire negotiated in mid-June is over.
Tonight, with 108 days to go until the midterms, a temporary victory for the Trump administration in its efforts to restrict voting by mail. A 3-judge appeals court panel in D.C. pausing a lower court order that blocked the Postal Service from moving forward with plans to only deliver mail-in ballots to approved voters on lists submitted by states. But that rule still held up in federal court in Massachusetts. President Trump blasting mail-in ballots in his speech on Thursday night.
Mail-in ballots are inherently corrupt.
Trump, who's himself voted by mail, now urges Congress to require voters to send in copies of their ID with their ballots. Other parts of what Republicans call the Save America Act would require voters to prove their citizenship when registering and force states to turn their voter rolls over to the federal government. But GOP leaders have said they don't have the votes to get it through the Senate. And there are new questions tonight about the administration's claim that more than 250,000 non-citizens are registered to vote in 4 states. Letters the administration has sent to officials in those states suggest the claims could be wrong, noting they're based on a preliminary review. The letters urge cooperation from the states to, quote, ensure the accuracy of the findings. Last month, a federal judge blocked the administration's use of a database known to have flaws to verify voter citizenship. The judge saying at the government's urging, some states have been actively removing citizens from voter rolls based on inaccurate information. The Homeland Security Secretary declining to answer questions about the data.
Mr. Secretary, is your SAVE database accurate? Is the database even accurate?
When we return, your weather update and more, stay tuned.
Introducing Signature Marine Coatings. We bring you premium marine solutions powered by PPG coatings, including anti-fouling protection, high-grade epoxy systems, fiberglass materials, and complete marine refinishing supplies. Protect, enhance, and maximize the performance of your vessel with products you can trust. Get the finish your vessel deserves. We are located at Tardy Marine Limited in Chaguaramas. Call us today at 2900-654 or email at signaturepaints@hotmail.com.
In our lives, there are moments that need to be remembered. Are you hosting a Ramayana Yagya, religious or cultural event or celebration? Would you like to have it aired live on IETV or recorded for playback later? We will air your program on IETV and IE Radio, with your viewers joining locally and internationally. Your family and friends worldwide can view on www.ietvtt.com or listen on ieradiott.com. To make arrangements, call or WhatsApp IETV at 784-9880. Let us record your cherished moments and share it.
Welcome back to IE's Major News. Let's take a look at today's weather forecast. Today was generally warm and partly cloudy across Trinidad and Tobago with a mix of sunshine and cloudy intervals throughout the day. A few scattered showers developed during the late morning and afternoon, particularly over central and southern districts, while most areas remained predominantly dry. Temperatures climbed to approximately 32 to 33 degrees Celsius, while overnight lows are expected to settle between 24 and 25 degrees. Moderate easterly winds persisted across the islands, becoming fresh and occasionally gusty in exposed coastal areas, and near passing showers. Sea conditions remained moderate, with offshore waves heights between 2.0 and 2.5 meters, while sheltered coastal waters experienced waves of 1.0 to 1.5 meters. Overall conditions were warm, humid, and breezy with only isolated activity. Tonight is expected to be partly cloudy with the chance of a few isolated showers developing during the late evening and overnight hours. Warm and humid conditions will continue, accompanied by moderate easterly winds of 15 to 20 knots. Marine conditions are expected to remain moderate, with offshore seas between 2.0 and 2.5 meters and sheltered waters ranging from 1.0 to 1.5 meters. Small craft operators and sea bathers should continue to exercise caution, particularly in offshore waters where seas may become choppy. Wednesday is expected to begin with a mixture of sunshine and cloudiness, with a few brief morning morning showers, affecting isolated areas during the afternoon. Increasing moisture and daytime heating are likely to trigger scattered showers and a slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm, particularly over western and central Trinidad. Temperatures are forecast to reach approximately 32 to 33 degrees Celsius, with warm and humid conditions persisting throughout the day. Moderate easterly winds will continue, becoming fresh and occasionally gusty near heavier showers. Sea conditions are expected to remain moderate, with offshore wave heights between 2.0 and 2.5 meters and sheltered coastal waters between 1.0 and 1.5 meters. Overall, Wednesday is expected to be warm and breezy, with a combination of sunshine, cloudy periods, and scattered afternoon showers. Let's take a look at some crime news. Officers of the Chaguanas Criminal Investigations Department, in collaboration with the Central Division Operations Unit, arrested a 24-year-old and seized a firearm and ammunition during an intelligence-led anti-crime operation conducted between Friday 17th July and Saturday 18th July. The exercise formed part of Operation Resolute Shield 2026 and was coordinated by Senior Superintendent Bagwan Dean. Under the supervision of Acting Inspector Rampasad, the operation was supported by officers of the Central Division Task Force Area North and guided by real-time intelligence. The operation targeted priority offenders and persons of interest in several communities throughout Central Division as part of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service's ongoing efforts to suppress violent crime, disrupt gang-related activity, and improve public safety. Acting on intelligence, officers intercepted a motor vehicle along the Chaguanas Main Road in the vicinity of the MP gas station. A search of one of the occupants resulted in the discovery of a firearm bearing the markings BYRCO 58.380 Auto, together with a magazine containing 2 rounds of ammunition concealed inside a pouch worn by the suspect. The suspect was arrested on suspicion of firearm and ammunition offences and conveyed to the Chaguanas Police Station, where investigations are continuing. Recapping the headlines, the government clarifies the Tier 4 data center project amid AI facility claims. The TTPS honors officers who defended democracy during the 1990 attempted coup. A man to be charged with the murder of 82-year-old Valencia resident. Well, this is where we leave you for now. On behalf of the entire news team, I am Micah Dumais. Thank you for joining us. As we end our newscast, we share with you scenes from the Rath Yatra or Chariot Festival from India and the Caribbean. Thank you for joining us.
Originating in Puri, Odisha, the Rath Yatra Festival of Chariots is an ancient celebration which has gone global, having been expanded significantly by the ISKCON movement worldwide. It is celebrated in more than 120 countries around the world, with some estimates putting the reach as high as 192 countries. Major celebrations are in Asia, North America, Europe, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, South America, and the Caribbean. Here are visuals from our own region, Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago.